I'm Sori.
And we are about to do a... What the fuck are you doing?
Don't act like you don't know. I figured out a solution for our swearing.
Oh. Oh boy.
There's 10 of them that I just made. I randomly picked 10 names from our comment section. And those 10 names are written on little pieces of paper. And under Sparky is this Sensi thing that got broken. So I am going to throw the names in there. There's 10 of them. In 1 week, if Vin swears, then I take a name out. If I swear, he takes a name out. If your name was on the paper and it gets taken out, then we're not gonna do your request. But if you are the one at the end of the week that we randomly pick out that your name was still left in the jar, then whatever your name is, we're gonna say it out loud, and then you're gonna comment back to us which song you want us to do, and your request gets bumped to the top. So it's in your best interest that we don't swear, because that kind of keeps more names in the hat. Got it? This should help our 9-year-old that's listening. I don't know how many other 9-year-olds are listening, so. What? You don't like the idea?
Well, I don't know how it's going to be possible considering the song we're about to sing, but let's see how it works.
No. We're still going to review our songs and blah, 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 but we're not going to be like, what the fuck? Oh, no!
Okay.
Okay.
Do I tell the name? Or?
Yeah, you read the name, and so then they know it's my fault that their name is no longer in the jar.
Miss Cassidy Robinson, you have Sori to thank for your
Sorry,
request
Cassidy.
being deleted. Unbelievable.
Okay, well, on that note.
So we're going to. So if the swear is in the song, it's legal. But if it's if it's ad-lib commentary, then it's not.
Right.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel less bad because if you're a parent and you know the song has swears in it, and you take your 9-year-old, then that's your parenting.
I totally agree. That's
right?
not on me anymore.
It's not on us, inshallah. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go to a classic. This is a Slipknot. Now, Slipknot is very near and dear to our heart because we started with Slipknot.
Right.
Our first 2 videos were Slipknot videos. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we just completely abandoned them. We've done like no Slipknot. All the Slipknot fans gave up. They unsubscribed.
No.
I don't think they unsubscribed, but I mean they probably gave up because you know.
Yeah. It's
anyway.
True.
All right, so here we go. Slipknot, this is Surfacing. What do you think of that guitar?
Screechy.
Classic.
Okay.
That's how they used to end their concerts. I don't know what they do now. Classic song. What was your take on the song?
It was alright. The lyrics were actually what usually it's not the lyrics that kind of pull me in. The lyrics made me be like, okay, I can see where this one's coming from. It sounded like probably like the ginormous fan base. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like at the beginning, it sounded like, fuck you all, running out of ways to run, I can't see, I can't be, over and over, under my skin, all this attention is doing me in. So I'm assuming he's got all these people that are giving him constant attention all the time. There's so many people just trying to get to him that it's doing him in. Like, it's getting under his skin. Like, if you're super famous and people recognize you everywhere, you can never just be like, you can't just do something normal without people crowding around you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I got from it. Fuck it all, fuck this world.
Well, this is their first record, so they weren't really big when this record came out. They weren't famous, so that can't be it.
All this attention. Well, what do you think it is?
Well, I think when you're crazy or you're listed as a crazy person, you get a ton of attention.
Oh.
See what I'm saying? Maybe I'm just reading myself into it, but growing up and they'd have me see counselors and stuff. There was a lot of attention. What's he gonna do? Because I was different. Because So and the other thing is just when, in general, when you're different from other people, you get a ton of attention. So it's like me and my boys were wearing, rocking, Slipknot Corn shirts, black nail polish in like the heart of the Bronx, New York. We were getting a ton of attention. Right. We didn't want it. We just wanted to be ourselves. But it just get a ton of attention, and it finally gets to you after a while. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's negative attention, and it's running out of ways to run. I mean, there's no real way to run away from that. Because you have to make a decision as to, are you going to be yourself, or are you going to be what the given subculture tells you you're going to be?
Oh. That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Well, what were you going to say?
I thought you were going to say, are you going to be yourself? Or are you going to... Well, I guess basically that is. Are you going to be yourself and wear that stuff? Or are you going to, like, just do what they want so then you don't stick out anymore? That's basically what you were saying, actually.
Right. Right. And so he's... In the beginning of the verse, he's, I can't see, I can't be. You can't be what? See what I mean? Like, he can't be himself.
Yep.
He can't see himself, he can't be himself if he wants to fit in with a given society.
What did when he said, picking through the parts exposed, taking shape, taking shag? Picking through the parts exposed, I just assumed was whatever parts of him are out there available for people to see. That's what they're... But then, taking shag?
Yeah, I just think when, it's, when a carpet gets shagged.
Yeah.
It gets, like, worn down.
Is that what No, there's shag carpet, which is, like, long.
Well, it's long, but it's out there, and it's, like...
Yeah.
It's not, like, a smooth whatever, so imagine that on the skin.
Why did you say something so friggin' nasty?
That's what it says!
How do you know that's on his skin?
Because over and over and under my skin. The very next line.
That's so gross. What is wrong with you? I don't think that's what he means.
What do you think it's what?
I don't know, but it can't be that grossness. Oh my word.
Sori has this.
Don't talk about it.
Actually, somebody named it. Whoever you are, I'm extremely impressed with you. He actually named the...
Okay, let's not talk about it. Look,
you're a disorder.
Bleh.
So so this is the 5th song on the record. But they used to close all their shows with this, at least at the beginning. He's like, this is your new national fucking...
You're the one! People are gonna hate you now. If you wouldn't have made that face, I might have skipped right over it. Okay. David Sanchez. I'm so sorry. Your name was in there, but now you won't get your requested song because of Vin. You can start the hate mail now.
Illuminati
Confirmed.
Anyway, he said this is your national anthem because I think the point of the chorus is I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm not gonna like go and conform to your what you want me to do. So he's saying fuck it all, fuck this world, fuck everything.
Don't ever judge me.
Don't belong, don't exist, don't give a shit, don't ever judge me. You know, I don't belong to your little world, so if I don't belong to your little subculture, that means I don't exist, and fine. I don't care.
Okay.
Don't ever judge me. You know what I mean? Which is this constant. You see this a lot in music where they keep telling people not to judge them. Well, if you don't care, why do you care if they judge you?
I think that every time.
It's like
a lie makes no sense.
Nobody sees the contradictions in those last two lines. Don't give a shit. Don't ever judge me. Well, if you don't care, then you shouldn't care if they judge you or not.
Yep.
But you do care, don't you?
I think most people care.
Yeah. Yeah, if you really, really like make that decision to be a complete rebel in society and not really care what people think of you, then that line doesn't apply. That last line wouldn't apply.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why do you think people have such an issue with being judged by a given society? Because you're one of those people, you don't like it, right?
No, I don't like it.
But why?
Because it makes me sad.
Why?
Because maybe it makes me question the reality of what I believe. I'm not sure. Like, what I believe about myself. Like, there was like a specific line that for a little bit, like, people were saying about me that was mean over and over, and I like kept seeing it in the comments over and over, and I was like, then all of a sudden I started to think it, and I was like, well, maybe that's true. So I guess that's what it is, and then it made me feel sad.
So that's where that comes from, is like some of your identity gets defined by other people's opinion of you.
Yes.
And that's what this guy's struggling with.
Yeah.
Don't belong, don't exist.
I mean, I don't want to be like that. That makes me angry that I'm like that way, because I want to be able to be like, oh, what the,
made him angry
I saved
too.
somebody, I almost said it.
Made him angry too.
Yeah, like I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to just have my own identity and be like locked into it, that people can say whatever they want, and it's like, well, that's not me, or if it is, I'll accept it, and that is what I'm like. But.
So yeah, it seems like you're much closer to Corey than I am in this particular song.
Yeah, because you're like not like that. There's very few people that can say stuff to you that will bother you.
Well, there are very few people who like I define myself by.
Yeah.
So if you define yourself by other people's, the more people that you define yourself by,
that's
then
kind of weird to define yourself by, like.
Well, that's what he says. Don't exist. And the reason he doesn't exist is because those people don't count him as a valid person. Mm-hmm. So because they don't count him as a valid person, he doesn't exist. See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I see it.
And then he's saying, well, I don't care if you don't feel that. Well, where's all the anger coming from then? Obviously you care,
yeah.
right? And I remember being like this when I was younger. You know, I was a young, angry, 16, 17 years old. This song was out in school, so I was like, yeah. It takes out a lot of energy, Mm-hmm. So the lyrics drew you, and the metal was, you weren't really a big fan of the metal?
I mean, it was fine. It wasn't like, I didn't think it was terrible, but it didn't, I mean, I could have sat here like this the whole thing and just been like, meh.
Show you nothing, but I ain't holding back. Every damn word I say is a sneak attack.
See, but like I'm saying, if the words though, those were inspiring, but the music.
Show you nothing, but I'm not holding back. Every damn word I say is a sneak attack. Good set of lines. What do you think show you nothing means? But I ain't holding back.
Well, he's not giving them any more of himself. He's not showing him any more of himself, but then he's like, I'm not holding back. So I think he's still trying to do the two things. Like, he's not going to show them anything, but he's not holding back, which means he is showing something. But he doesn't want to tell them, I'm showing you everything. Like, I'm going to be myself, but I'm not going to show you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he
Like,
says...
it's contradictory. That's how I understand it, as a contradictory statement.
Well, when he says show you nothing, I think what he's saying is, I'm not going to show you how much you hurt me.
Oh.
But I'm not holding back, meaning I'm going to get you back for that shit. But I'm going to do it in a passive-aggressive
you're right.
way.
Every damn word I say is a sneak attack. Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. The people, they do the, like, subliminal disses and shit like that to fight back. Mm-hmm. Because if he, like, comes out with a full frontal assault, then people are going to know that that they hurt him.
Right.
So he doesn't.
Jab, jab,
Yeah.
jab. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny, like, I went through these progressions. I went through being very, very angry about not being accepted to being a very, like, sarcastic person. Because there were certain people in my life who I couldn't fight. You know what I mean? Just because of, for whatever reason. And so I wasn't going to put my hands on them. Mm-hmm. And so I would do this stuff. I would just, I would do a whole bunch of, like, phew, phew, like, subliminal attacks.
And you, I bet, are very good at that.
What?
Subliminal attacks. Like, if you're actually trying to do that.
Yeah. I
the way that your mind is like, pew, pew, pew,
I perfected the art form.
Don't ever do that to me, please.
No,
and talk to me.
No, and then what I found out was both of them are a colossal waste of energy.
What do you mean?
Like doing the fucking that was
oh, another reason why I ain't never been. Oh, Metalhead 87. So sorry.
Your dreams have been dashed, my friend.
Yep. Imagine what song we would have reviewed. It's not gonna happen now.
Illuminati confirmed. Yeah, like that was all of that like output of energy that was in the song. That's a colossal waste of energy. And then, the intellectual powers of coming up with subliminal digs to get at a person. That was also a colossal waste of energy. And then I got this amazing revelation. Just ignore them. Be done with them. They're not worth it. And then that's when I just stopped caring about what people,
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was like, why are you...
Do you think that was healthy?
It works for me.
That's not the question.
None of the stuff affects me. Well, I feel like I'm a lot more healthy in handling that stuff than you are. By a mile.
Well, yeah, in the moment, but who knows long term what that does?
What do you mean
I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't really know. It just seems like you just... How do you do that? I want to be able to do it too.
Well, I think some of it... this is where I'm like, I don't know how... Some of it is... You always start off with like layers of distance from people.
Yeah.
So that So I don't have a lot invested in a lot of people.
You wouldn't know it.
Like you, I have a ton of invested in you and the kids, and a few other people in my life. But other than that, I don't have a lot of I don't make those emotional investments in people. I feel like you get.
I feel like you invest more emotionally in people than I do.
Nah, that's completely untrue. Not at all.
Really?
Not at all. I mean, I care about people. You care about people.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who you genuinely let them into your soul type relationships.
How many people have I genuinely let into my soul?
Well, I don't know. Why do you care so much what they say that?
I don't know.
Oh, well, maybe that's a different discussion.
That's a weird. Okay.
I just, it's after a while.
Maybe I do let them in.
Well,
yeah.
That's what he says, under my skin. Right? No, I mean, forget about that for a second. But the idea is when you say so and so got under my skin, it's the idea that they're inside of you, that they're, they're occupying some place in
agitating, irritating you.
Yeah, they're. I think it's a way to talk about the soul. When you say under my skin, you're saying.
This is a gross thought, but when you think about under my skin and you think about, when people have coke bugs and they think there's bugs in them, they'll scratch all their skin, or think, is it called scabies, where they'll burrow in people's skin and they'll also dig up. So when somebody gets under your skin, it almost creates this self-destructive behavior. Like you want to get it out. So like you end up doing things to yourself that, you know, had you have seen it correctly, you wouldn't have done.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not for me.
No, I know.
It's just not for me. But I mean,
and I don't want to be sad when people are mean. I don't want to be sad about it, but it just happens.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe you're more healthy because I'm
that's why I asked you.
I'm like completely. I've never met a person like me before. You know, so
no,
I'm not
neither
sure.
have I.
So I'm not particularly
I didn't believe
sure.
it when you first would tell me that. I'm like, yeah, right. Everybody says that. No, I don't let it bother me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you like legit like, as like time progressed, I'm like, I don't think that bothered him.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you become a dangerous person to these people. Then people become very afraid of you. Because when a person's doing this shit,
somebody else, oh boy, you're really screwing up.
Here I am about to say something eternally significant.
Sorry, you'll get back to it. Andrew Gillard. Sorry, buddy. Okay, go ahead.
But when you're doing all this craziness, rah, you know what I mean? Like the given subculture that's trying to oppress you, they like that stuff. They like this. They're like, oh, okay, because you look like a raving lunatic.
Yep. No, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you're
And so what that does is it creates a social control, because then they can look at another person who's kind of like on the fringes and say, you want to be like that guy?
I feel like sometimes it's entertainment for people too.
Oh, of course.
Like they want to see you.
It's both. They want to see you all worked up.
Give
and then
them more stuff to gossip.
They want to say, you don't want to be like that guy. You know what I mean? It happens all the time on Facebook.
Okay, so that's another way for them to keep people within the social
Oh, of course.
construct.
So they love people like this, but people like me that just won't say anything. That becomes dangerous, because then you're like, you can't use that person as a precautionary tale, and then they're going on with their life, and they're completely fine, and they're actually thriving outside of your crazy little subculture, and so they can't point to you and go, because you're
right,
because you're not even giving them the time of day. But this stuff right here, like, you haven't evolved mentally to deal with how to deal with that sort of societal pressure. So that's when you get labeled as a dangerous person. Because it's like, this is a person that can't be controlled. You can't control this guy. You can't control this girl. But like when you're in this type of situation, it's you're still being controlled, because all this anger didn't come from you. It came from the people outside of you. So you know, I didn't realize it at the time, but these people are still controlling you when you say that.
Yeah.
The minute you say, I don't want to be part of your subculture, you're already validating their culture. The only way to invalidate it is to make it so that they don't exist. So the minute you say, I don't want to be part of it, you just validated that it exists.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but this is when he was really, really young. You know? And so like it carries all that rage and all that. You haven't really thought through like, okay, seriously, how do I do this? You know what I mean? So, anyway, this is me like talking to my 16-year-old self.
Yeah.
You know, if I had a chance to sit down and talk to my 16-year-old self, things would have been a lot different. You know, there would have been a lot less blood on the ground back in the day.
Yeah.
So.
When he says, I'm the push that makes you move.
I am the push that makes you move.
What is he saying?
I am the push, because you need people. You know, it's like, go ahead.
It seems like they're the push that's making him move, because he's creating a song, he's acting out, but he's like, no, I'm doing this to you.
Right. It's delusional.
Self-awareness, folks.
It's delusional.
We need some self-awareness.
Because really, but on the other hand, you know, it's Tony Montana. There's a famous clip with Tony Montana where he's a gangster.
Okay.
And he says, you need people like me, so that you can point to me and say that I'm the bad guy. Of course, he was the bad guy. He was a freaking drug dealer. He was killing people, throwing people out of helicopters. He was a terrible person. But he was saying, people were saying, you're terrible, Tony. But his mom was saying he was bad. All these people were saying he was bad. So finally he had a meltdown in the restaurant. He says, you need people like me, so that you can say he's the bad guy. basically.
Well,
you can blame me for all of society's ills.
yes, and it like gives people like I've heard people say it so many times. Well, I'm no Hitler. You know, I'm no Hitler. What they're saying is I'm not really that bad because I didn't do what Hitler did.
I'm not that guy.
Yeah, it makes them feel a little bit better about themselves.
Yeah.
So I kind of see where that guy's coming from. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, if you can say he's the bad guy and he's doing obvious, terrible things, then you can say, well, I'm not doing those things. And then you can excuse your own terrible, horrible actions because we all do things against each other. We all hurt each other and sin against each other. And
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, people like this are kind of despised by a given community or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, they're necessary to make the community go forward. Because they're the only ones that are saying maybe something is wrong.
oh,
And they're the only ones that actually push the move forward to things like maybe we should let women vote. Maybe black folks should be allowed to vote. Maybe we should stop beating the hell out of gay people when we see them in the street.
yeah,
So you need people like that to push society forward.
right.
But in the moment, they're never going to get celebrated in the moment. They only get celebrated backwards. So like a guy like Malcolm X,
Yep.
you know, a guy like Harvey Milk for all of his issues, a guy like Martin Luther King for all of his issues. You know, in the moment,
Any women?
well, Susan B. Anthony, Harriet Tubman, you know what I mean? Like, in the moment, none of these people get celebrated.
Right.
But you have to look backwards and then go, oh yeah, they were great. You know, it's like Jesus is talking about, you know, putting the flowers in the graves of the prophets. Because they're dead now. So now you can
And
celebrate.
they had killed them.
And you had killed them. Your
Yeah.
fathers killed them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
But if they're in the graves, now you can put flowers around them because now they can't say, they can't.
Well, they're not talking about your sin. They were talking about the generation.
now
before
they're
you.
silenced by the grave, so now
Yeah.
you can celebrate them because they pushed your given culture
see.
forward, right? So I'm the push that makes you move. So there's actually a symbiotic relationship though between people like that and a given culture, because on the one hand, the culture drives the rage of this person, and then the other hand, the rage of the outsider pushes the cultural change that is necessary. But somebody has to make the decision to say, fuck this world. No, you said if I was quoting the lyrics, it didn't count.
That's true.
I am adopted. Fuck everything that you stand for.
Oh my word! I know what you're doing.
Hey, I'm the master. But yeah, somebody has to say all that. Which of course, none of that is true. Nobody really believes, everything that America stands for is bad. Nobody wants a complete reset of America. But so that's a bit hyperbolic. The messages, the lyrics are very, very simple, but this song was very, very important to me growing up. Extremely important to me. And it's interesting because on the one hand, it festered a bunch of violent thoughts, but on the other hand, it quelled a lot of violent actions. If that makes any sense.
No, it does. I mean, you said that before.
Yeah, Slipknot was doing God's work for me when I was
That's crazy.
When I was a kid. For sure. What do you give it?
6.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Giving this song a 9.5.
Really?
Giving this song a 9.5.
Why?
It's a 9.5. It's a classic song. It's an important moment in metal.
Oh, and it also has some. You also have some history.
It's
with
got historical significance to me, so it is what it is. Shout out to the big homie Corey Taylor. 9.5 from me. Sori just demonstrated she doesn't know anything about metal. So. That's all.
I'm sure you don't want to swear again.
To all the big homies, very sorry. I didn't
Yeah.
come up with this policy. I didn't come up with this rule, so you can blame her.
You know what? I know at least one person's going to be happy with me. Whoever's name is left in the jar or gets pulled out.
Are there any survivors? How we had 5?
No, there's 10, so I think 4 or 5 got pulled out, so we still have 5 left.
Sparky's is guarding that stuff
Yeah.
in his life.
Yeah, it's supposed to go for a week, but if we run out of them early, which
you
I'm
serious?
thinking we will, then
A
whatever
week?
the last name in is the automatic winner.
No,
What?
I just think you refill the jar. We got enough names in the comment section.
Oh, I know, we're going to keep doing it, but I'm saying the first round lasts a week. So if we don't go to the end, and let's say at the end of the week there's still 3 names left,
I
then
see.
boom, you pull a name out of that, and that's the winner.
I see.
But if we end early, because
I don't see a lot of hope for you guys.
somebody's gonna win.
Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
I am the push that makes you move. I am